All right, so I am so happy to be here again, interviewing someone with She Rhyme. I have Abibat Durosimi with me today, who is a not health, but more beauty and fashion expert. And I've seen her out here in Portland for many years. She does many things. So like this, I'm just happy that you're here with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so happy for you and proud of you that you're doing this and giving us a platform for just us women of color just in trying to do it in this industry right now. And I think, entertainment, beauty, fashion, all of that kind of encompasses in one, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be sitting because you're an expert. You've been, um, I think when I first met you or learned of you, I don't know if you were only doing like hair and maybe makeup at that time.
Mhm.
I don't think that you were, because you're styling now too, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, when we met, you were my comment. I was able to do your cornrows.
Yes, yes.
I was doing that, and I think we kind of, fell in the same, grounds of people as far as music was concerned. I was a promoter at the time, and I was doing hair because that's how I was able to, meet people and everything like that. I was all about the networking and stuff. And you probably, Liv,
Mhm.
Black Butterfly.
Mhm.
Also,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
We're naming, groups in the northwest.
Northwest.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, artists, performing artists, amazing. And yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was doing hair and makeup, and I was working. I do a lot of freelance work, so I wasn't always behind the chair, but I also did, a few other freelance, things because I can sit still.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that you mentioned them is great because now you have the Bloom Collective, and you mentioned Liv Warfield and Black Butterfly, and just the scene, like everybody's out here, and it's like the whole. I don't know how far involved they are with the Bloom, and I'm sure they make events and everything. But
Oh,
the whole collective kind of came together organically because there are like so many creative people here.
yes, yes. I try to reach out not just only in the beauty industry, but more so in the fashion and branding. Like everything that we do, as far as when we have a platform, that all encompasses into a lot of different things. And the point of Bloom Beauty Collective was to bring different creative entrepreneurs to come together and create something here in Portland. I feel like we all come in different groups and we all kind of stay in that little, group. And as people of color, Black people, we kind of stay that way, and
Yeah.
being a hairstylist and makeup artist, I was able to meet a variety of people, that come into my chairs, from politicians to athletes to, performers, but then also regular professionals that work in tech, that work in, who are like in just marketing and sales and all of that, right? So I'm learning all this stuff by doing their hair and talking to them and them sharing their stories and whatnot. But then me getting to know what they do and knowing what they are hunger for, and that was just entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
And the only
Yeah.
way that we knew what was going on in Portland was whoever you knew. It wasn't like you was able to see it on the news. It was not like you sit here on the radio, because all that stuff costs money and everything
Right.
was pretty much underground, right? And my whole
Yeah.
goal about Bloom was just to bring all that, us, to
Mhm.
rise up on the top. But like, hey man, we do this too. We can also get paid. Like, man, shoot, what you need? Does Nike need a performer?
Yeah.
People here. You don't have to go all the way outside here. Work on the communities here locally, but then spread out, because
Mhm.
you have amazing talent here, and the only way they will ever get noticed is if they actually remove themselves from Portland, because Portland is such a white city
Yeah.
that only caters to people that already are celebrities. They're not trying to work on the people who are trying to rise up on top, right? It's
Mhm.
people who already make it and then they go in for it, or you just know somebody in that industry, um,
Yeah.
to be able to have that limelight, right?
Mhm.
And the
Thank
limelight.
you. I'm grateful that y'all put that together because I do see you as someone who around here and in modern times you're kind of paving the way for
Yeah,
people that want to get into like the next level of like beauty and fashion and all of that.
and all.
And I know that you've worked with Liv Warfield a
Yeah,
lot. We have a lot of talent here, but we only have a few names that really get the opportunity at the right time, they get to go outside a little bit more. And
Exactly.
I know, like, working with her helped. You've been able to work with like Prince and.
Yes. Like, I mean, honestly, it was one of those times where I was going through a transition, moving from the corporate world and diving more into my skills, with hair and makeup. I wanted to build up my clientele, and the only way I did that was through doing PR. And so there was a club that we had in downtown Portland called the Love Jones, and we turned into, like, where a place where people do live music, poetry. You know what I'm saying? That's where you would see us. You know what I mean? And I love that. And I met Liv through that platform. And, she was looking for somebody who could do her hair and her makeup. And I was like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm the one, and I'm confident enough to be like, yeah, I got you, girl. You know what I'm saying? We can all be beautiful. Let's do it. Yeah. And, ever since then, we've been like this. And I was styling her. I started touring with her. And then when she started working for Prince, she just dropped my name in that basket. Now, the thing about P is, like, he doesn't, he's picky and choosy. So it was a blessing because, like, he trusts Liv enough to know that I was able to come in and bring in my own creativity and show something, what I can do, And, I mean, I remember when she gave me that call and she was like, "You ready to work?" I said, "What you talking about, girl?" She's like, "You ready to work?" And I just had my daughter. She was like, I mean, she was almost 2 years old at the time. And I'm just like, "Oh, what?" So I said, wait. Did he see my work? Like, because at that time, I didn't have no website. Like, what I'm saying? I had Facebook, I had like Model Mayhem at the time, where try to build up your portfolio. And, he's like, he loves that work that you do with glitter, And I was like, really? And it was just like this. Oh. It's just me being really creative and just tapping into my creative zone, because that was not needed in Portland. When you do freelance work, it was all about natural skin. Natural hair. There was no off-guard looks, no nothing. So that's what she said, that he saw, my stuff, and he was like, yeah, bring her down. So ever since then, it was from 2011 till he passed, that I've been blessed to have been able to work with him and other artists and musicians. And it was just by me just thinking outside of the box.
Yeah. That's awesome. I want to know also, I'm just thinking about, like, I've seen you, like, over the years, like trade shows, and I don't know what other types of things that, like, add to your secret to success with getting your name out there, because you say you done PR too, so like you have a lot of experience. Well, and a lot of things.
It's about, like, I'm a friendly person, you know what I mean, and I know a lot of people just by doing hair. Meeting my clients, I'm friendly to my clients. We, they become my family. I have clientele that they've been with me for like 20 years. And I'm not about plentiful, so it's all about appointments only, right? Like, I want one with me, and me being able to take care of you and how you feel good. So to me, that was just who I am. And when I approach people and I see a light in them, I gravitate to that. And so when I was just telling somebody, that I've never been a stranger to celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, meaning, like, I've always had some type of light on me, like, since I was little. Like, somebody would, I was on the news, and, it was like Christmas time, and they wanted to talk to me. You know what I mean? I'll be at the airport, and I meet a celebrity there, and we'll sit there and just chop it up. Like, it's just never been a thing where I'll be like, I mean, low key, I'd be all up in, this is the person, right? So, I mean, I always knew how, it's just, that was somehow, it just always been gravitated to me. And I've always been into music and all that. So that was already in me. So it was easy for me to kind of go out. Now, I know for a lot of people who are introverts, because naturally I am, but when I want something and something excites me, I'm gonna go for it and go out there, And so my whole point of, like, doing Bloom was just to help people be able to meet the right people, because not everybody will think outside of the box. Not everybody will be like, oh, I'm about to go to the spot and meet somebody. They just kind of go in there and be like, I'm here, so who do I need to talk to? They're scared to talk to, but, like, and I used to be that way too. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? It took some time, you know what I mean? But what I did was I went to every little social event. Like, I remember SCI would have, oh God, just went blank. What was the group? Something Black. We meet something. I can't remember. Oh my God, I can't remember. Anyway, it was about bringing professionals, Black professionals in. Say Hey. It's called Say Hey. That's
okay. Okay.
Say Hey. So SCI had this thing called Say Hey, and it would bring people who are imports, from all over that will come and work here in Portland, and they're looking for the Black community, and that's where people will go. And so I found myself going, and then just keeping my ears open and finding other events that I can go to network. And I was a hairstylist, and I'm looking for clients, and I knew what level of people I wanted who
Yeah.
appreciate my work. You know what I mean? Like, I love seeing my stuff on on screen, on camera, like all my work. Like when I started doing behind the scenes, like freelance work and doing photo shoots and stuff like that, I love seeing my work on camera. Like, as an art. When you break the comb rolls and make designs, when you are taking your time to make those parts even, or the line, fade up, clean.
Yeah.
Like, that's art. And for that to
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing. Like that piece that you got in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember we met before for a concept, and you're so detail oriented. I never had a hairstylist like draw out. I know what we were thinking of was very abstract, so probably need to do that, but I had never had somebody actually draw out like the hairstyle was gonna look like, and I was like, okay, this is like a whole new level of passion for her art that I have ever seen before. And that made me, I just know I always want to come back around to you when I'm ready to do, something that is very highly creative and, just out of this world. Cause that, yeah.
That's beautiful that you even remember that. You gave me goosebumps, girl. You're like, yo, she remember that. Like, for me to have an understanding of what somebody wants, I mean, like, a lot of people have a hard time to describing things. So, and for me, I need to make sure that I visually understand exactly what you're talking about. So I want to create, especially when it comes to like avant-garde looks. Like, he's like, I wanted a crown. I was like, oh, girl, we can do a braided crown. We can do this. We can do that. I got excited because that, to me, I get to tap into some creativity that is like I always longed for. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been an artist myself. So funny. My daughter, she saw one of my scrapbooks. She's like, Mommy, I want to be, as good as you. And I was like, girl, please. I had like 30, 40 years experience. That's what you see is 30 years of experience. I was like, she's only 4 years old. And now she's 11 and she's better than at the age
Oh,
that I was.
wow. Yeah. Wow.
So things like that, like, I try to pour that into my community as well. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I just think that also my parents was always like, always do your best in everything that you do.
Yeah.
And so regardless of what it was, even if it was your artwork, like, it's funny. I would tell my kids to color inside the lines, right? Because I'm that particular. I want everything like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I want it like that. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. And that's not me for me to say because that's her own art.
Her art. Yeah. Yeah.
And he reminded me to be like, okay, meet people where they're at because you can't, because me, I'm such a control freak as far as how art is concerned, as you could say, like, I'm always trying to like figure out what it looks like. I can't do that for others. Because sometimes it's hard for me to, you can't please everybody.
Right.
Somebody there's not gonna like what you do. You know what I mean? And I always try to make sure that I will try to meet them where they're at, so I can make sure that I give them what they need and what they want and what they're looking for.
Yeah. I don't watch television too often, but I believe that do you still have a segment on, or did you have a segment on the news in the morning?
Yes. Well, okay, so it's called Afternoon Live, and it's on channel, and it's a local channel that will do a lifestyle segments, whatever. So I recall, and it was brand new. It's only about maybe 3-4 years old, and I went downstairs, and my mom was watching, daytime television, and I see this sister, and I see this girl that I recognized, which is somebody I worked with, and was a photographer, and she was there. And I'm like, what is this? And who's that sister in there? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And, she has this caramel skin, and she was wearing these like curly Shirley Temple curls. And I was like, that's not you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
girlfriend, like, I need to call her and let her know. The confidence in me knowing that, you know what I mean? And just, especially after Prince, like, you really,
right.
you know what I mean? Who are you? Why do I have you in my camp if you don't know that you're the bomb? You know what I mean? Because he already knew that he was the bomb. So anyway, So the funny thing is, I was already working for KTU as a makeup artist for celebrities that would pop in and out during the morning shows.
Okay.
So the one day they asked me to come in, I reached out to the producers and I was like, "Hey, are you looking for a beauty enthusiast?" You know what I mean? And he was like, "Oh, got a blog." And I'm like, "Yeah, Instagram, right? Because
Yeah.
pictures, you know."
Right.
Right? So I was like, "Yeah, I sure do. I got a website and all that." He's like, "Okay, well, cool. Let me, hook you up with the other producer for the show." And I kind of find out she worked in the same agency that I am at, because I also do plus size modeling. So
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "I remember you," and it just made it easier. So if you don't ask, right? You never, right?
Right.
The only thing they can do is say no.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Right.
life is still the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went ahead and asked, and then sure enough, like that following day, it was my first time doing a live segment, like being on the camera. Girl, nervous. I was wearing this wig, yaki straight wig, and it was just, I had a blazer. I was ready. I was looking all professional. I had all my products that I wanted to show off, and my whole point was I wanted to be that one dark-skinned sister
Mm-hmm.
that's talking about our hair type.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my ability to help my community and
Mm-hmm.
help my girl Trey. You know what I mean? Because it was like she also wanted to be free because she didn't want to wear that wig.
Right. Right.
They don't know what our hair type really is. I mean, like when they see this, they were like, "Oh, that's unkept." They don't know what our beauty is.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
Show them like we could do a whole lot, and a lot of times, I mean, girl, look where we at. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Somebody's always gonna try to reach and try to touch our hair, like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna take you for these braids. Oh my God, I wish I could have some braids." Blah 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 blah. That was my way of just showing, like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you the answers for all the things that you've been thinking about."
Mm-hmm.
To make sure that you don't go around touching their hair because they don't want you to touch their hair.
Right. Right.
That's awesome. A different light of, like, what we do as people of color. There's a lot of us behind the scenes that people don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the limelight, like an actor or a TV host or an artist. We need people to make us look good in front of that camera.
Right.
Like,
for sure.
We can do that, and and what I was saying is that I was like one strongly, okay? So behind the scenes, and I was like, more of that. I need more of that. I need more.
Definitely. Yeah. That's just awesome. That you were able to do that, like here and in this area. And I know that, in a not the, I guess, material world, but in the spiritual whatever world, I know that had knocked down some barriers that might have been in the way as far as like hair and beauty is concerned in this area, because we don't have too many people in front of the camera, of color, and also like highlighting you right now, people that usually are behind the scenes, keeping everything together. You push the culture forward as someone in like beauty and fashion, you know what I mean? We go to the things that people in your line of work, what you guys put out there for us, that's what we go to draw our inspiration from. And I'm sure you probably draw your inspiration from the people that you see every day, So anyway, that's a beautiful exchange of
No. I mean, it definitely makes sense though. I mean, like my point of beauty, it was my parents. Both my parents are Nigerian. We love to party. We get dressed up, made up, makeup done, hair done, everything on point, right?
Yes, I love that. Yeah.
Right? And I mean, that's just embedded in us, right? We always want to look good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, being able to just to be able to pour that to anyone who thinks the same way, you know what I mean? And always all the time, I'm naturally a happy person, you know what I mean? Like I'm always wanting to have somebody put a smile on their face. Yeah. So it's amazing when you tell me, like, I'm putting myself forward where I'm catapulting something new, and it's like that was deep down. I wasn't really thinking about that. I was like, I just want more people of me, but it's awesome because then that means I'm going to pass that torch to someone else to do the same. For the next
You're very, very strong out here. um that's why I'm like so happy that you could meet me with today, because you have done a lot. Even like just now, remembering how you did modeling, I was like, oh yeah, she did. I think I seen you maybe in a Fred Meyer ad or something in the past. But like, um,
Wow.
I'm glad that you get to reflect, kind of right now. And I don't know how often you get interviewed for your work, but I think that's awesome, because you've done a lot, and the journey that it takes to become all that you are. I don't think that sometimes people that are new or fresh, they don't understand what it might take to even get through some of the doors that you've already had to get through. Like saying you have like 30 years of experience, probably, from a young girl, very, before you could, you were practicing with your dolls and stuff, and into now, and 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 the modeling, that gives you another perspective. That's you being the in front of the camera rather than the behind the camera side. So just having experience on both of that, and by the time the where you and the opportunity came for you and Prince to meet, you know what I'm saying? You were ready for it, and you were able to deliver on what you needed to do at the right time, So
It's funny, to be honest with you, I think what made that major change for me and being able to do so was like I said, thinking outside that box and just taking that jump, because, I was so used to having money. You know what I mean? Like I had a 9 to 5, I was doing hair and all that stuff. But when I made that decision of becoming like an entrepreneur, that was a major drastic change for me. You know what I mean? Like I was always the breadwinner. Like I'm still, and like, but as far as I'm within my family, right, taking care of them.
yeah.
And that decision to go outside of the box and be like, hey, I'm gonna do this, and it's totally different from what my family is doing. Like, they're all in the medical field. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, what you doing? How come we don't have a salon? But
They say that, I'm sorry, but they say that Nigerian families are very strict when
yes,
with the like education and
exactly,
things.
exactly. And for me to leave college with middle, like I was my second year in college, I was doing marketing, my business marketing degree, and I decided to leave to go to cosmetology school. And my parents was like, okay, well, if you do that, then you need to get yourself a salon. And I'm like, I ain't trying to worry about anybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew how the environment was when you were in the salon as a little girl, right? You had to be there all day, and you're submitted to all these other people's clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like different auras, different energies that's mixed into one. You know what I mean? And it can get a little fight, and sometimes it's just I'm all by energy. So I've always been that type of person who will do one-on-one. And it's funny though, I'm very thankful that you have me on this platform, because no, I don't really get interviewed as often, because I don't really talk about what I do. A lot of people don't know what I do, you know what I mean? Unless they decide to go and, Google me, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and and I'm okay with that. I think that with everything that's going on right now, like the COVID, the BLM, it's forcing people to stop and being more transparent with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I was telling someone, I was like, if people don't understand that and what God is trying to do for us right now,
Yeah.
we're always gonna be lost. You know what I mean? And so I try to take advantage of this situation. I'm grateful that I recognize that within myself. And because I had a moment, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, trying to be who you are and just trying to, help others. Sometimes people don't want that. You know what I mean? There's that side where people don't want you to do that. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
try to pull you down, and you have to be mentally strong to deal with that. And that's why a lot of people, I think, don't really succeed to be in the limelight, because it's a lot that you got to deal with.
Oh yeah.
And like you're on this platform and you're forced to be having to tell people who you are, but then when they think that they already know who you are, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've seen that with like Megan. That poor,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, man, well, I saw her live IG and people still clowning. I feel like these are people who just don't get it.
That's not, yeah. It hurts. It's my feeling. And I know I don't know these people and they're celebrities, but I don't know why I have a soft spot for them, because I feel like
You you know who they are, because you are the same too.
yeah.
She just got in a, she was positioned in a place to be in this position that she's in right now. You know what I mean? Like I said before, Portland, you know, when we tried to leave outside of, there's a lot of things, when you in that limelight, there's a lot of things you got to factor in. It's not just because of your own fame. You have to learn how to deal with that fame. You have to learn how to deal with the people behind you that's moving you in that space.
Right.
I mean, like I'm stuff, like Illuminati stuff, like that type of stuff, because it's strong there. And Prince used to talk about that all the time. I mean, he said, man, it's all in his music. If you really,
I see it. Yeah.
he's been trying to tell us all this time. He's been trying to tell us, if you're a creative or an artist, own your own shit. Because he learned his lesson real good.
Right. Man.
He wasn't able to get none of that shit. You know what I mean? Not until he almost like passed. Like, I mean, he only had it just for a little time.
Yeah.
Like all your work, and someone takes that, the white man takes that shit from you.
That, and
to be able to try to keep your name, and they even took that from him. That's why he had that symbol. People don't think about that stuff.
And if I may say, and I hope this don't mess up myself, because you know you kind of brought up how the industry is on the other side. So I hope this don't mess up my chances for anything, right? But
I will put that in the air.
One thing I want people to, because you talked about how they take your music and having ownership, and you know, I think about all these rappers, sometimes these new rappers lately, it almost seems like they, as soon as they break out just a little bit, they come under very high scrutiny and end up sometimes you know, getting charged, maybe having to do in jail bids just for stuff. And I just, if anybody's out there watching this, young ladies, when you start to break out, just watch who you're around. And that's okay. With what you got going, because especially if you're good. My bad.
Oh, did you hear? Okay, because my phone. Did you hear that? I didn't hope that didn't mess it up.
No, it's okay. I heard it, but it's fine.
Okay, you gonna be?
Huh?
Do you edit this type of stuff? I don't know. I'm sorry.
I can.
Okay, good. So,
but it's fine though. Also, before I don't want to like keep you too long, but I do want to talk about Sneaker Week, because that's a big deal.
Yes. So, you know, just as apart from what you were saying earlier, you know what I mean, about the industry as a whole, you know, and having to be careful. Like, we need to follow people like Kendrick Lamar. We need to follow people who are literally like Chance the Rapper. You know what I mean? They're all, well, Kendrick, he just became independent, but Chance was jump. You know what I mean? And people need to start understanding that fast money is not always good money.
Right.
You know, and I think that's like that, you know, that's a rule in life, you know, all that glitters is not gold, right? So you got to be careful when you take this journey, when you want to share your art, right? And it's not, and everybody's all about the fame, you know what I mean? And it's, at the end of the day, not everybody's ready for that fame, right? So those, you know, the young artists right now, I mean, they're getting picked up for saying like 5 lines and then that's it. They don't got bars no more.
No.
Bars, you know, and it's like, you know, what to do with that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, so I definitely am here in this space to also let people know, and especially our youth, that that's not the way to go, because you see how these kids are starting to happen now. They're all going to jail. They're all doing drugs. They're all, because they're not ready.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think this, you know, the new millennials or the, I forgot, Z, I don't know what it's called, youngins right now, it's all about like everything has to be right here and there, right? I'm trying to find the word for that, but they want it now, right?
Yeah.
So everything's on their fingertips. Wherever they can get, they use their phone. Boom, it happens. They right away. No patience. There's no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No one's pay their dues. You hear me? They want to be. They all got social media that makes it easy for people to see what you're doing, and it makes it easier for people to scrutinize you and have their own opinions, because now you're in this huge platform where people can really touch you instantly.
Yeah.
Whereas before, we can write them a letter and mail It takes about 7 business days.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you got bags of mail to read through. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
get that until whenever.
Whatever. Mm-hmm.
Like people can tell you how they feel. Boom, right there.
Yeah.
Where you at and what you're thinking in that headspace and all that. So that's what I'm saying, like, with women, like, and I love this platform too, because, it's about women and women of color that is in the industry, right?
Yeah.
And, and how we can help heal each other.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you, I said, like, what is about this platform? You was like, how you came up with this platform. You was telling me, like, after you saw Nicki Minaj and, Cardi B go at
Or
it. And they're both, trying to fight for this same damn spotlight when everybody can eat.
yes. Everybody. Mm-hmm.
All about who likes you, who likes your vibe. At the end of the day, art
Right.
is universal, right? So whoever gravitates it, like, I probably won't like that piece right there. I probably won't like that piece, but you like it.
Right. Right. But that's why it's on my wall and not on your wall. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody can eat, like, what I'm saying? Like, so why is everybody tripping? And a
Yeah.
lot of time media, does that because everybody wants drama. Everybody feeds off of drama. Everybody feeds off of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where everything is at right now. Everything is so raw and so negative right now.
Yeah.
Even how we talk to each other.
Yeah.
Even how the lyrics comes out when you want to talk about how you fallen in love, but it's not love, it's sex. You know what I mean? There's no real. It's hard to have a positive side unless you are throwing positivity, like, right.
And that's another reason why I wanted to do this, because there was about 2013, MC Light had put together this like competition to find the next top female rapper. It's called Ladies of Hip Hop. I think they still have the platform, but I went down there for that, and there were girls and women from all over the country that were rappers, all different types of images, all different types of content in their music, all different types of delivery, different perspectives and everything. But when we get the mainstream stuff, they give us pretty much the same image, pretty much the same rapper, but in a different body, And so part of me doing this, I wanted to bridge the gap and make it smaller and bring a way for there to be I want you to be able to see my next door neighbor, the rapper who just finished her first mixtape, right next to Nicki Minaj, who I'll say she's a legend. I'm gonna call her the the collaborator queen, because I feel like whenever she lends her pen to somebody else's song, she absolutely executes it. But I wanted them to be able to have the same space to share, so that people have more options. Because in healing is I go to music and scripture, I guess, for my healing. And when the music sometimes is the soothing medicine, and then scripture for me, gives me that deep work that I need. So it's important that music that's good for our soul, that the people know where to find it and it's available, because it's not written about or reported on as much.
Goosebumps.
Oh shoot!
Like, you're helping pave that way. You know what I mean? And with the platform that you have, you know what I mean? Where I feel like, the women that we have now, they got caught up to a point where it's still about fame instead of just trying to help your community at the end of the day. That's what they were rapping about, right? In the 90s, I feel like that's what it was about, was to educate us about who we were as Black people, and, being able to express ourselves, being able to educate each other. That's why I love East Coast music. I love like KRS-One. Like, I mean, from that, we can go down to Philly, Queen Latifah, like all of that at that time. But I feel like, they needed to continue, right? So they end up, doubling their status, meaning they become actors, they become models, they, you know what I'm saying? They become brand ambassadors, like whatever, to continue their level, because no one's not doing that no more. And the reason why is because the system now is making it where it's not for us to express ourselves the way that we should be expressing ourselves.
And at the beginning of us talking here today, we were talking about everything going on in the world and how people needing to be more, I guess, transparent. But it's crazy how with all this going on, it almost flipped the whole entertainment world upside down and inside out, and really have artists kind of having to come up with other ways to get their money because there's no shows, there's, you know what I'm saying, there's no concerts there. And you know what I'm saying, and it also, it allows, because I guess the larger artists can't really move the same way they would, that kind of allows for people to do more work that haven't made it to those levels. But
exactly, no, I agree. I think now we just have to be more creative, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Tapping into our creativity or tapping into people that we know. You know what I mean? Now it's time to build our community. That's our unity, right? Like we need to start reaching out to each other.
Yeah.
That we want to learn, because now this is a different era now. Like if you're not in tech, you better learn about tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Learn about all these different apps and programs and stuff like that. Teach yourself. If you're quick to have all these apps on your phone for, you know, whatever else, like shopping, all that stuff, you can do that to educate yourself. Right. And I feel like, you know, that's the part as artists, we have an advantage. We have an advantage for people to listen and to see. And either or, somebody has either or, but then also there's vibrations, right? So if you don't have those senses, another sense is going to come for you to be able to gravitate to music, because music is everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. When we have melodies and sounds and all that vibrations, it makes us feel good. It makes our babies feel good when we have them in our womb, right? Because they don't understand the words, but they can hear the vibrations, right?
Yeah.
From there, and if we continue building that, right? And now it's all about the system now changing how hip hop makes a difference in the community. The whole world, damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like when hip hop came, it changed the whole entire world.
Yeah.
Music to the fashion sense, all of that. Our culture had a platform now. We were able to talk about what was going on in the streets, what was going on in our own homes, what other people were doing to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now when you see it now, hip hop has watered down. It's only far few in between the people who can handle the shit that's going on right now. They'll share their voices. Like I can't wait to hear what, you know, Kendrick Lamar's going to do.
Oh, me either. Me either.
I bring him up because he's our only mainstream. You know what I mean?
He's one of my favorites, because I was waiting for someone like him, just because he's able to really ride that place between the real and the industry, and he does it so effortlessly, you know.
Compared to him to like that next Tupac, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tupac was very militant about where he stood. You know what I mean? And the gangs and all that stuff. When that started to fade out, we had someone who was not part of that. He found another way, you know, that loophole. You know what I mean? Like, thank God he had, you know, Dre to start off with beforehand. You know what I mean? And now he has this huge ass platform and he's choosing it wisely. Like, I really think, I mean, he's been quiet for a minute. I'm not sure if you have heard from him since all this is going on, but I think he's about to, you know, come up with something. And
I hope so.
Because people need that. People need it. And I look at, you know, I think women as a whole needs to start speaking up. And I know now, because I remember people were coming for Queen Latifah, you know, on being like, why are you so quiet? She has to make sure that she has that balance too, because in the day it's money. You know what I mean? Like, this lifestyle. And if she does speak on it, something's it's evident now. It's evident now that we can lose our lives if we decide to, you know, make a huge movement. It's been quiet for a minute because it hasn't been done for a very long time, right? Publicly,
right?
You know, Martin Luther King too. You know what I'm saying? Being successful, like all of that. Calm down, but there's secret ways to do it, right? So everybody's afraid now to speak up, but there's ways to go about it. Say that again. You see how Nick Cannon had to, like, you know, wow. It's like I felt for him too, because I was like, you know, one thing, he's, you know, not people appreciate him, but he's a true businessman. He's a true creative entrepreneur. Like, day one since a child. You know what I mean? Like his mom knew exactly where he needed to go, and people could not respect that. Like he's making more. Like he could, was able to take what corporate was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's still trying to build up his own, but he didn't go the same route as Sean Combs. He didn't go
No.
as Jay-Z.
Yeah.
He was a business person first. I mean, even though he was in the arts and stuff, his parents was like,
yeah.
And now it's one of those things where like he was in this position of like, I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to share what I know and speak the truth. And all these people's coming for him.
Yeah. I kept trying to find the quote that he said and I couldn't find it.
I can sum it up, but when you can though, like try to plug it into this, because like he basically said the real about if you really know about science, right? If you take science is and what God is, right, and you bring that together, because it's all one and the same at the end of the day. It's just how people think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how we are true Adam and Eve's, Black, Africans, all that, and there are the second thought, meaning that it took centuries and generations to have white people to come about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by that happening was us, basically transporting ourselves from the equator, from Africa, to going up north.
Right? Okay. Mm-hmm.
And you know how we don't think right? We're not in our right mind when we don't get enough sun. We're vitamin D deficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we need that. We crave that, right? So it becomes like all of a sudden it becomes a mutation because we don't have that in our body.
Right.
But he was saying like there were mutants. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
That's the reason why they were crazy. That they will come and get something that is not theirs. That they were quick to take. You know what I mean? And so that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
And some people was like taken back. People don't know about history. People don't.
Right.
And all that stuff. He could have came to that point of how he was going to say it and why.
Yeah.
Yes, he put it out there before he could really give receipts on how he knows. And that protected him, but he didn't have that ready because those white folks was ready for him.
It's
he apologized because he had to protect himself.
Wow.
That's why he apologized.
Yeah.
See that. He was on it. You said you're sorry. You know what I mean?
Right. You should have, man.
Why would you take your word back and then it makes it wrong? So and I know that messed his whole world up because he went, and like he was like, made it sound like he wanted to commit suicide. Like, I mean, a lot of it. I mean, you have to understand, like, people are waiting. You have a platform, so people is always going to be waiting for you to say something.
Yeah. It's sad. I can understand why he was feeling hopeless, completely hopeless, because when it comes to like sports and entertainment and those things, we don't have a lot of ownership. When these protests started breaking out, I have like this much stocks from this little app I got. Mm-hmm. I went and I was like, I'm throwing all this away, and I bought up some Urban One TV. Yes. Or whatever, and it was the right timing because for whatever reason someone sold a bunch of shares, and I bought them for like $1 something a share each, but because of that other sale, it raised the stock price, and by the time I sold them, I had a few of them, like they were $20 a share.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. That's the only way I knew how to protest at that moment, because I didn't know what I was like. Well, I'm going to put my money in the Black TV company because we need more platforms, because we need to be able to tell our stories the same way. We can't have our truth dismissed, just because with Nick Cannon saying things like that, it threatens the power structure.
Yes.
Because then nobody stopped to take the time to question, why is he saying this? Is this science that he's speaking of? Is this actual science? No one took time to try to disprove him or tell him he was wrong. It was just their first thing was like, no, we can't have you talking like this. Yes. And
he didn't have a platform to really, I mean, like he wasn't able to defend himself.
Yeah.
He wants to, but that's more scrutiny. That's just
Right.
gonna, like, so he had to stop because everybody's, what are they doing right now? We're doing this. We're all here. We're all on our phones now. There's nothing else is going on right now. We're in COVID. We're in, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody's tuned in, right? So it's I'm just waiting for that time when people can just fall in their truth and things starts to change. And it's going to take us time. We're definitely open some major wounds right now. Everybody has a place in this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So when you're telling me, like, oh, I didn't know how to, the way that I'm able to express my movement is to put money into Black businesses.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. There's some people out there that are meant to be in the front lines, that are meant to be that voice for now. You know what I mean? For what's going on right now. And then there's people that need to be able to build up that community, that foundation. And there's people who are healers, right? Who are here to, to make sure that we all have, that understanding and those tools to heal ourselves. So that's with art, music, fitness, nutrition, like all of that, getting that wellness, get that mental check, you know what I mean? Making sure that you're finding yourself, your true self, so you can always be transparent. It's not bad to be transparent, and I think a lot of people are like, man, like you be saying keep it 100, like why can't we all keep it 100 and be okay with that and be okay with others people's opinions? We all have, we all not going to think alike. We're not the same. We obviously are not the same. We all got different hair colors, textures, different religions, the way that we think and how we move. Mm-hmm. Why can't we just be all accepted for that?
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what everybody wants at the end of the day. Right. And I think, it just takes a village for us to just make sure that, we all can like thrive.
Yeah. Right now, is with everything that you've already done in your career, what are like some more long-term goals for you, or who is someone that you would love like to style or work with, or anything, a dream?
I mean, right now, my dream is to build a space for our youth who are creatives and who have a certain passion, and to help them to live a lucrative lifestyle, meaning a healthy mental lifestyle, but then as well to take their passion and turn it into a career. And my goal is to have that and be able to pass that torch down, and have my kids be able to pass that torch down and make that happen. So, now with Bloom Beauty Collective and knowing exactly where I want it to go, it's more of a boutique agency for BIPOC community. It's for corporations to know exactly where they need to go to get any services that has to do with beauty, fashion, and wellness. So we're like this hub of healers.
I love that. Self-care is so important.
Overall, being able to be seen behind the scenes or in front of the camera more so. So I wanted to be able to have that platform. So that's where that comes from. And then I'm trying to educate people. So we, creating workshops and master classes virtually for anybody that's interested in the industry, photography, from modeling to creative directing, styling, all of that. All that still matters. As long as we have movie, a story to tell, all that is still needed. You know what I mean? Because that's what we fixate on to now. If you don't have no more technology, then it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Now I'm definitely trying to feed into what this new norm that we're in right now, and take advantage of that and learn all the tools that I can to make sure that the next generation of Black, indigenous Asians, who want to be creatives and who want to thrive and have that platform to be seen.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now. And to speak of, what's coming up next, we have Bloom had partnered up with Design Week here in Portland. Also, our whole goal is to make sure that we are seen in those spaces. And it's a festival, so why not, right? Like the whole world's gonna know, so why not jump in there?
Right.
And it's been a blessing because these are people, it's a melting pot of, of different people, different cultures, different backgrounds are coming together for the better good in our community, and highlighting what design is about. And design, not only is visual, but it's how you move in the world, right?
Okay.
Design. And so we try to, tap into all of that. And so Bloom have decided to talk about the fashion world industry and the people of color that is not behind the scenes. We decided to have a conversation about that, and I chose 7 people, and they're all from old to young to white to Asian to Black, all of that, captain in one, and having people have them share their stories and how they're going to help us as a community to be better in the industry.
Yes.
So that's that part. And then Sneaker Week is something amazing because we're all low-key all sneakerheads. We all need to be and we all, make it stylish. And it's, to me,
Yeah.
part of fashion. Like, people do not rock any clothes until they pick their shoes first. People are like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put anything else on. And it definitely makes sense, right? So my goal is to highlight people in the design community that works on sneakers, but then also, streetwear, and bring that together, because that goes hand in hand. So that's what I do. And yeah, just, be able to create content surrounding those narratives. So
Awesome. Everybody, when you're watching this, visit Bloom Beauty Collective, because it has information about Sneaker Week and all of the other things that she was talking about. I'm so inspired by you, and just motivated just to, I guess, keep going with what I'm trying to do. Reflecting with you was inspiring. It's got me kind of going, and you just have so much. You have so much to give, from all that you've already done, and you're willing, and your vibe is right. And I think you're beautiful. Okay. And I really appreciate you for meeting with me today. And I'm really looking forward to working with you on something in the future, even if we just bring our platforms together to, I don't know, I could have you come teach a master class at a She Rhyme event in the future. I don't know, but because in business and beauty and PR, you're really killing it, and it's very great. Our community is lucky to have you out here doing what you do. So thank you for that.
thank you, sis. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me here. Like I said before, I'm very proud of you, and keep on going. And anything that I can do to help, please let me know. And I think that we definitely have something that we can definitely do together, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
I got some stuff brewing in my head right now. So
Yes.
yes.
All right.
All right.
Well, all right. Thank you.